ANC staff members are embarking on a nationwide picket at this hour after the governing party's failure to pay their salaries on time. For more, we cross to our senior reporter, Samkele Maaseko. Good afternoon, Samkele. Lots of activity behind you. Perhaps you can give us some color as to the event so far.
Essentially, workers here at Luthuli House are picketing over unpaid salaries. I'm going to bring in one of their leaders who's speaking on this issue. He'll introduce himself and just essentially speak on the various issues that are plaguing the finances of Luthuli House and you guys not being paid on time. So just introduce yourself and what is the main issue of you not being paid on time? Worked for this party.
Look, Samkele, it would be wrong of me or any one of us to speak for the Treasurer General on the finances of the ANC. But what we can speak on are issues that affect us and how we have been in engagement with the leadership of the ANC as to how these matters must be attended to. We have been, since 2018, there's been a fluctuating process in terms of how salaries are paid. Today, this month, salaries are paid on time. Next month, they are not paid on time. And another month, they are not paid at all. Now, that has been the experience. And what we have been engaging the leadership on is to say, can we find a permanent solution to this problem? And we are part of the engagement to find the solution. All we need is to say, now that we find ourselves here, what do we do to remedy the situation? For instance, the month of May, I'm standing here, I'm not paid. Now, what do I say to my family? And these are the issues we raised with the leadership of the ANC. If nothing is said, it's okay if we say, no, comrades, you won't be paid today, you'll be paid 10 days later. At least I'm able to go to my creditors and say, I won't be paid on time, but I'll eventually be paid on this particular day. But when there's silence, when there's no indication as to whether I'll be paid or I will not be paid, it becomes a problem. It creates the anxiety that you see in the faces of these members of staff. It creates the frustration that you see on the faces of members of staff. Now, that is why we're saying, leadership of the ANC, we have great confidence in you. But we're saying the pace that you are applying in resolving our issues is not satisfying us. And that is why we decided we'll come here and we'll have this picket. We are calling for a speedy processing of these matters. We're not saying today we can find a solution and it will be all nice and gloom.
Having engaged with Phoebe Porkiter, the general manager here at Luthuli House, and the Treasurer General Paul Mashatile, what are they saying is the main issue of you not being paid on time as employees?
The ANC doesn't have money. That's the only reason. The ANC doesn't have money. The ANC, like we said earlier, the ANC is not a profit-generating organization. We don't run business. NGO, we deal with human lives. That's what we deal with. Now, what we focused on, if we can't get donations from donors, it means we are at zero. We have nothing. Now, it means there needs to be a way, and this is our view. The leadership of the ANC perhaps must change the way it's engaging with the donors. We are also saying it's going to be important that to encourage donors, to continue to support the ANC. The ANC must also show that it cares about its own staff and speak about these matters. Come forward and say, we are working on these matters. Not only when there's pressure, then the leadership of the ANC come in front of the camera and say, we're working on these issues. We have been working on these issues, but the leadership has been reluctant to engage solidly with us.
How is your leadership engaging with you when they are drinking expensive cognacs in Sandton, in Melrose Arch, driving luxurious vehicles, living a very lavish lifestyle, yet the very same people who work for their organization are not yet paid? How does that make you feel?
Look, that Samkele, I'm sure you know what you're talking about. I do not know. I can't comment on that because I don't know who drinks lavish whiskey or who drives lavish cars. But all we are saying is that our demands today must be responded to and must be met. What they drink is their business, for as long as they continue to remember that we have families. We also must take care of those families, and that's what we want.
The TG says some of you will be paid by the end of the week in a meeting they had with the top 6 yesterday. Do you believe that will happen?
we remain inspired by the leadership of the ANC. We believe that whatever commitment they are making, they will respond. Yes, we know there's been commitments before, but they were never met. But we're still saying that we remain hopeful, and that will help our lives.
Thank you very much. That was one of the leaders of the picketers here at Luthuli House as they are fighting of not yet having received their salaries. We are going to put in our mic as the ANC's Deputy Secretary General, Jesse Duarte, the General Manager of Luthuli House, Febe Putgiter, and Pule Mabe are here to receive the memorandum on behalf of the workers here at Luthuli House who have not yet received their salaries. You'll have to excuse our shot. It may be a bit shaky as my colleague Tulo Munare and they will be addressing the workers of Luthuli House. Over to them now.
Comrades from the media, please give us space. Can you please move backwards, please, comrades? Can you please observe protocol, COVID-19 protocol, comrades? Sikala si observe ama COVID-19 protocol, comrades. Please, without any waste of time, comrades. My name is Thabo Motipe. I'm representing the ANC Staff Forum nationwide. It means other provinces are also having such pickets. Today, comrades, we have came here just to voice out our grievances as staff, as employees of the African National Congress. Nothing else. And we therefore, I will introduce the comrades in company with our Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Jesse Duarte, in the middle. We then have Comrade Phoebe Potgieter, who is our General Manager. We then, on the other side, we have Comrade Bongani Mahlalela, who is the Chief Financial Officer. And then lastly, we'll have our well-known to you media, the spokesperson of the ANC, Comrade Pule Mabe. Without any waste of time, comrades, I shall be given this opportunity to read on behalf of the Staff Forum the memorandum that I will read, and therefore, thereafter, I will also ask Comrade DSG to sign her copy, and I will sign mine, and then we'll exchange copies, and then we'll give an opportunity to address us and an acknowledgement message from the African National Congress. Thank you. The memorandum reads as follows. As workers of the African National Congress in all of its offices throughout the 9 provinces, we are unfortunately forced to take this action and picket at all provinces of this glorious movement of Oliver Tambo at a time when the movement politically is faced with numerous challenges. The South African economy is experiencing an economic crisis that includes deterioration of standard of living of the majority of South Africans. This unfortunate situation has not spared us, the workers of the ANC. However, it must be noted that our problem did not start last year or year before. Last as we have been in crisis for some years now. The increased cost of petrol, electricity and basic needs is affecting us and more so our families. We have tried to sustain this situation, but it is not sustainable anymore. It is unacceptable that we should be bearing the consequences of the organization's financial mismanagement. As employees, we have served the ANC with utmost dedication in ensuring that it executes the mandate given to it by the people of South Africa. And as such, we should be treated with dignity by the organization. The fact that we have spent the last 3 years without our Provident Fund contribution being paid to the fund leaves much to be desired. The importance of a Provident Fund can never be understated in creating social security for any employee, any worker, be it upon retirement, incapacity to work, or other factors. The organization has a basic obligation to provide that security. Non-payment of our monthly salaries by the employer has created problems for us as employers and our families, as it is absurd to expect us to be able to survive and provide to our families during these tough economic times that have brought economic hardship to all workers. Over the past 4 years, there have been repeated late payment of salaries and failure to comply with our contractual obligation towards staff. Our Provident Fund deduction and your contribution to the relevant authorities have not been paid since 2018, without any reasonable explanation. Our UIF deduction and your contribution to the relevant authorities have not been paid without any reasonable explanation. We have had no salary increase since 2018 or bonuses and experienced unfair labor practices in as far as the grading policy is concerned. We are left with no other option but to demand the following demands. Demand number 1, A, we demand that the national political leadership intervene and deal with the problem of staff on an urgent basis. We demand that all employees who have been with the organization for more than 18 months to be deemed to be permanently employed. We demand our outstanding salaries to be paid not later than 7 days from today. We further demand that all outstanding bonuses be paid by no later than 30th of July 2021. All contributions owed to the Provident Fund and UIF must also be paid by no later than 30th July 2021. The employer, the African National Congress, must in writing commit to the demands above, but also must indicate that their commitment is binding and as such an award that can be enforced through Labor Relations Act processes. We demand that the employer must never withdraw the medical aid benefit again and that any revival must be consulted with employees first. Lastly, we demand that all employers who have participated in this action today are not subjected to a no work, no pay policy. In conclusion, comrades, all the issues raised in this memorandum are raised in good faith and are a product of a long drawn out interaction between us and the workers and the management of the African National Congress. Should the leadership of the ANC nationally not respond to all our demands within 7 days, we shall have no alternative but to intensify the campaign by the workers. Thank you very much, comrades. We shall allow the signing of the memorandum, the handing over and the signing of the memorandum to the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC.
There you can see the memorandum is now being handed over to the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC as they are also practicing to a relative extent COVID-19 regulations by sanitizing their hands. They are raising issues of having their provident funds not being paid since 2018. I do know that the Treasurer General of the ANC, Paul Spokes Mashatile, has said that he inherited a debt of about 380 million rands in the ANC coffers, which boggles one's mind when you look at the 2007 financial report, which was presented at the Polokwane conference by the late Treasurer General of the ANC, Bab Mendim Simang, in saying that there was a surplus in ANC finances of close to about 1.4 billion rands at the time. Fast forward to when Matthews Posa became the Treasurer General of the ANC, one former of the Youth League said that they were paid handsomely as staffers of Luthuli House by the then Treasurer General Matthews Posa. Then after Matthews Posa, at the 2012 Mangaung conference, Zweli Mkhize came into the fore as the Treasurer General of the ANC. You've heard many speculations and many reports and allegations being made against him as TG by the likes of Blaki Mundana, saying that he was Mr. 10%. Let's just listen to Pulemabe, the spokesperson of the ANC.
Thank you very much, comrades. The Deputy Secretary General of the African National Congress is going to respond on behalf of the leadership of the ANC. Comrade Diaz, I'll wait for you.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
Okay, I think it's going to be a little bit. Can you hear me, comrades? Yes. Amandla? Yes. Good afternoon, and it's very good to see so many of you here today. Some of you have been working from home, and we're very happy that you are safe and well. Firstly, we want to say thank you to you and your families for your endless patience in what is a very trying period for the movement at the moment. Like all workers in our country, ANC staff have the right to raise awareness of their legitimate grievances within the laws of our country. We also say we acknowledge as a movement that the issues you raise, late salary payment, your provident fund not paid, your medical aid and other conditions of services are legitimate, and the movement must do better to ensure its staff are treated fairly. I'm sure this morning many of you received an SMS showing that your salaries were paid today. The current cash flow challenges faced by the movement is as a result of a variety of factors which, as you say, is really not your concern, but we need to put it to you, including the general economic situation, the implementation of the Political Party Funding Act since April this year, as well as an urgent need to modernize the ANC's operational funding model.
All right, those were visuals from Luthuli House, and of course we will keep you updated on that story with Samkele Maaseko, who is covering it for us.